Hey everybody, I promised last week on LinkedIn that I was going to talk about this for a moment, and it's the Camp Lejeune Claims Act. Now, as you know, the Camp Lejeune Claims Act, you've probably been bombarded with advertisements at all hours of the day: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TV, phone calls even, I don't even know, right? Let's talk about that a little bit. The Camp Lejeune Claims Act, as you know, is if you were at Camp Lejeune for more than 30 days, there were lots of toxins in the water. If you've developed certain types of cancers or Parkinson's, or your family members have, or whoever, you can now sue the government for those damages. And this is separate and apart from VA disability. So, and by the way, sue, you're actually filing a claim, which why it might sound a little confusing, when compared to the VA disability claims process, but you can file a claim against the government like you could file a claim against or file a lawsuit against somebody else. I'm not going to get into the weeds on that claims process, but there are folks out there talking about offsets. And what are offsets? So if you receive VA disability compensation, and you receive VA disability compensation because you've been injured at a VA facility, right? The VA did medical malpractice on you, and you're receiving VA disability compensation for that, and you sue the VA under what they call the Federal Tort Claims Act. The VA will actually stop paying you benefits if you receive a settlement under certain circumstances. It gets very complicated. I'm not going to get into details because it's way too complicated to explain all the different varieties of things that could happen. But the idea is that the VA doesn't want to pay you twice, or the government doesn't want to pay you twice for the same injury, okay? So let's say you are currently receiving VA disability benefits for an injury you received from drinking toxic water at Camp Lejeune. And you may be thinking, well, is the VA going to cut off my VA disability compensation benefits because I file a claim against the government for this water under the Camp Lejeune Claims Act? And the short answer is nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. And that's really for two reasons. The first reason is the VA, and rather the government, has not yet written the regulations on this. Congress wrote the law, but we don't have the regulations on what this law means and what this law does. But the second bigger thing is that you won't really know what's going to happen to your VA disability benefits until you look at whatever language is in whatever settlement agreement may come down the road. So let's say you file a claim against the government because you're injured from toxic water at Camp Lejeune. You'll go through some of the claims process and litigation process, and eventually the government will probably put a settlement agreement. We'll propose a settlement for you. Say, we'll pay you X amount of dollars to end this claim. And you'll have to sign an agreement, and that agreement is kind of like a contract, and that agreement will spell out what they're compensating you for. Now, the specifics of that agreement, which has not yet even been drafted, is what will govern whether or not you can keep receiving your VA disability benefits as well as the Camp Lejeune claim benefits, right? So to back up a step, just filing a claim under the Camp Lejeune Claims Act will not cut off your VA disability benefits. But the settlement agreement down the road may do it, but what has to happen is you, as the claimant or as the family member of the claimant, have to scrutinize that agreement carefully with a lawyer who knows what they're doing and understands VA disability benefits and understands the Camp Lejeune Claims Act law. And you have to scrutinize that and make sure that that agreement's right for you. Because if it's not, you don't have to take it. You can keep receiving your VA disability benefits compensation. But if they offer you enough money, maybe you don't mind if you lose your VA disability benefits compensation because you're getting a larger lump sum. It all depends. We just don't know because you haven't filed a claim yet. You haven't been offered a settlement agreement yet. You may not know until years down the road years from now, what the impact is going to be. So with that said, if you're thinking about filing a claim under the Camp Lejeune Claims Act, it's really important that you work with an attorney who understands the Camp Lejeune Justice Act and that understands VA disability benefits compensation as well, so that you can make informed choices down the road. There's no one-size-fits-all for this, despite the mass marketing that you're seeing. It's not one-size-fits-all. And if someone comes up to you and says, hey, let me be your attorney, there's no offset, the VA is not going to take your disability compensation if you take this money under the Camp Lejeune Claims Act, that is simply not true, because we don't know. It may or may not, but you won't know until you get that settlement offer in front of you, which may be years down the road, whether or not it's right for you. So with that said, if you like this content, if you thought this video was helpful, hit like, subscribe, share the video with others. If you like more of this content, the subscriptions help, because I like putting out this content to help navigate the VA process. It's not straightforward at all. With that said, we are always responding to questions in the comments. If you got any, please leave one. And anyway, if you got any more questions, shoot us an email. If you're having problems with your VA disability benefits compensation, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. Anyway, until next time, take care.